Welcome to Mediocre Gaming, and today we're playing Deep Rock Galactic. Well, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I'm Zarel. Let's get to it. So today we're doing the deep dive, codenamed Abandoned View. But before we get to that, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, smash that subscribe button, and ring that bell to be notified of all future episodes as soon as they go live. So let's get into it. Stage 1 of the deep dive has low oxygen. You're also going to be looking out for alien eggs and morkite. So alien eggs, you're just going to look for that organic matter. Dig into the side of the level. Look for that glowing, pulsing red light. That'll tell you where the alien egg is at. Dislodge it. Drop it into the mule. If you're not really sure, you can always look at the terrain scanner and that'll tell you where it's at in comparison to where you are. Now, the crystallized morkite is just going to be like other minerals. You're going to look for it on the side of the level. It'll have that blue-gray glow when there's no lights around it. And just go ahead and dig it just like you would anything else. Use your pickaxe and get it. Drop it in the mule. Now you're going to be looking for 2 alien eggs. And of course, since there is low oxygen, you're going to want to try and stay together as a group if you're playing with other players. The only places to get oxygen are the drop pod, the mule, and resupply pods. So make sure that you're keeping your eyes open for both nitra gold and crystallized morkite. Keep an eye on that gauge, the oxygen gauge on the right hand side. When it's full, no problems. You're next to the mule or one of the things that has oxygen. Otherwise, you're going to be losing it. And after about a minute, you're going to run out of oxygen. Your suit only holds so much. But like I said, you can always refill it over by the mule or resupply pod. Always keep your eyes open for enemies as they're going to be popping up from time to time. And whenever you dislodge an alien egg, you're going to have not only a chance of spawning a swarm, but you're definitely going to be spawning some enemies. So make sure that you're keeping your eyes open. Now this is a good time to point out that the deep dive is a 3-stage raid-like environment where you can play with your buddy Bosco by yourself, which makes this stage a little bit easier, or with up to 3 other players, either pre-made or match-made. Now once you have all the crystallized morkite and both alien eggs, call in the drop pod and make your way out. Now because it's low oxygen, you're going to want to kind of keep an eye on and keep close to the mule. Since you only have about a minute of oxygen, you don't want to run out. And if it's more than about 50 meters away, then you're probably going to want to stay relatively close to wherever the mule is at. Making sure that you're staying flush with plenty of oxygen whenever possible. Occasionally the mule does go up a sheer cliffside, and then it's kind of hard to follow unless you have jet boots on. So make your way to the drop pod with the mule if at all possible, and if not, then of course make your way quickly to where the mule is or to where the drop pod is, depending on how close either one is. Now eventually the mule may get ahead of you, and then you might have to just hoof it to wherever the drop pod is at. If you have a driller on your team, the driller can make a path straight through the rock. If it's an open area and you have a gunner, you can get a zip line across, and then of course the engineer can put down platforms to get across small chasms or up, depending on what you need. different professions have different things. Alright, and that's it for stage number 1. On to stage number 2. Alright, on to stage 2 of the deep dive. This time around we have no modifiers, but you're looking for a quarks this time around, and a black box. So unlike the previous stage, you have no mule. Whatever you grab, you're going to have to drop into the rig by yourself. So if you have a perk like Deep Pockets, that'll certainly come in handy when you're grabbing minerals. And then of course, things like the Backbreaker Stout will help you get the quarks quickly from wherever they're at on the mission to wherever you need to go, the rig in this case. Black box is a zone control. You have to stay within that bubble. The more people that are in the bubble, the faster it goes. The fewer people, the slower it goes. And then if nobody's in the bubble, or if you're down but inside the bubble, doesn't matter. You have to be alive, up and running, so to speak. Quarks, just look for that blue glowing speckles on the side of the level. Dig in towards the blue light, and then of course go ahead and dig it out, drop it into the rig, or throw it over to the rig, and of course have someone drop it in for you. Once you have all the quarks and the black box taken care of, call in the drop pod, but it will take 2 minutes, so you'll have to defend the area or run around depending on what you want to do. And then go to a section of the cave that is probably remote, and that will likely be where the drop pod shows up. But even after the countdown hits 0, you'll still have to wait about 30 seconds for the drop pod to actually show up on the level. So you'll still need to defend, or start making your way to wherever the drop pod is at. You'll see the green glow if you're close enough, and then just make your way onto it, since you don't have to wait for the mule to dock. Now this is a good time to point out that everything carries over from one stage to the next. That's your health, your ammo, grenades, everything including what's in your pockets. So if you don't have time to drop things on the side of the drop pod before you get out or in the rig, it'll carry over to the next stage. Just make sure you do drop it somewhere into a mule or whatever before the end of the 3rd stage. That's it for stage number 2, going on to stage number 3. Alright, stage number 3 is a cornucopia of objectives and modifiers. This time around we have Rich Atmosphere, Shield Disruption, Dreadnoughts, and Morkite. So crystallized Morkite, just like the first one, except it's a secondary objective, so you don't have to have as much. This time around, we got the Arbalest and Lacerator, the twins. So the Dreadnoughts are the boss-like creatures of Deep Rock Galactic. And this time around, since we got the twins, they don't have shielding, but they do go immune when they burrow through the level. Additionally, if you damage one of them more than the other significantly, they'll both go immune, and then they'll share their health. And the amount of health that they share is usually more, or almost always more, than what the one will lose. So try to keep the damage relatively even, if at all possible. Once they get down to around a 1/3 health, then you could probably power one of them down, and then you don't have to worry. Just locate the last one and take it out. Yeah, but whenever you have one that is significantly lower, you always have to, like, hurry up, take care of them before something happens. Power them down until they have no health left, and then move on. So rich atmosphere means that you're going to be able to travel faster, you're going to run faster, but the enemies also run faster as well. So keep that in mind. And then, of course, shield disruption means that you only have your health with no shielding to buffer the hits. So try not to get hit at all, and I know since it's a dreadnought mission, that might be a little bit difficult. Keep your eyes open for red sugar and call in resupplies if at all, if needed, or when needed, I should say. Now for the second dreadnought, we got the Hive Guard, the bullet spongiest dreadnought of them all. They're immune. They call in sentinels. The sentinels are mini Praetorians that you have to take out, and then it's shielded. Take down the little fronds that are shielding the Hive Guard, and then do the damage. Do as much damage as quickly as possible, and then once the damage phase is over, Hive Guard will go immune once again. Call in some more sentinels that you have to take out. And then once you take them out, the Hive Guard lets out a screech. Fronds come out, damage the fronds, and then go to the damage phase. Do as much damage as quickly as possible, and then hopefully you can get it in 2 or 3 rounds, but it may take 4 or 5 rounds depending on how quickly you're able to do damage to the Hive Guard during damage phase. But once you have all the dreadnoughts taken care of and the Morkite extracted, you're ready to go. Call in the drop pod and make your way out. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to check us out on social media, and thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing. And we'll see you next time.
A dwarf never dies. Grabbing ammo.
Molly is on the way. Sticky pew. Oh, I need it.
Smooth as always, team. Drop pod is on the way.
More traits.
Getting supplies. Never felt better.
Drop pod arrived. Mule is returning to LZ. Drop pod departing in T-minus 5 minutes.
Hey, dirt digger.
Let's get out of this now.
Oh, I made a platform. Sentry gun, need to separate.
Drop pod departing in T-minus 4 minutes. The Mule has docked, initiating launch sequence. Retrieving escape pod.
Bacal!
We fight for rock and stone.
We're awesome!
PlayStation